Are you not entertained? Or should I ask, are you not convinced? Pakistan beat Sri Lanka in the second Super 4 match that they play. And yet, there are still a lot of jitters and shudders in the Pakistan camp. Is it a convincing win? Is it not a convincing win? What about Abrar Ahmed's mimicry versus Hasaranga's mimicry? Sportsmanship is back. That spirit is back in this tournament. A lot to discuss here. And obviously, the first and foremost thing, the main elephant in the room, 28th September, Pakistan versus India on the line. Bashar, say it with me. Bashar, you watched the game. Thoughts, feelings, and observations.
Hey, a win is a win. But I'd be lying if I said I was comfortable going into the match. I was looking at Pakistan versus Sri Lanka head-to-head last 5 matches, and all 5 matches lost by Pakistan. On top of that, this was a brand new venue for Pakistan. They're playing in Abu Dhabi, where Sri Lanka already played a few matches there. So they had an idea of the conditions. And a Pakistan team, after being smashed and battered by the Indian team going to Abu Dhabi, and basically a do-or-die match, I had my reservations.
I'm happy that Pakistan pulled the W over. I think it was very important for this administration, this captain, and this team to get a win against a team that is a formidable side. I also think that 5 T20I record that you're talking about is a little bit skewed. The last T20I that Sri Lanka and Pakistan played was way back in 2022.
So it was 2 games in the Asia Cup. And then if I take you a bit more back, it was 3 games in Pakistan. And this was the series that Pakistan lost 3-0 in 2019, which resulted in the ousting of Sarfaraz Ahmed, Pakistan's most successful captain.
It put the nail in the coffin for that whole propaganda. And we can talk in length about that. That's a whole other podcast on what happened there. And was Safi correctly ousted, or should there have been a little bit more leeway for a captain who's won 16 or 14 straight series?
11
straight series. That's a whole other podcast. That's a propaganda podcast that we have, Bashar, after this one. But as it stands right now, Pakistan has defeated Sri Lanka. Pakistan has gotten the 2 elusive points. And not only that, their net run rate sits in the positive rank on the table. They're right underneath India as it stands right now. India and Bangladesh in less than 24 hours, like less than 12 hours actually, at the time of recording this podcast. A lot's going on. Bangladesh has back-to-back games. But the bottom line is that we are headed towards what everybody wants. At this point, even the Indian nation, the Indian cricketing fans want this now. A Pakistan versus India final. It's happening.
I wouldn't jump the gun just as of now. There is one more game. Dude, there is one more game against Bangladesh on Thursday. And with this Pakistan team, you never really know. I mean, even in this match, there was a scenario where Pakistan just had an insane collapse. And I think we'll get to that. Let's go to the match, actually. Pakistan won the toss, and they choose to bowl first. I mentioned the stat in the last podcast. I kind of butchered the stat, but the stat was Saim Ayub Agha has won the toss 14 times, and 10 times he's batted first. And today he wins the toss. He bowls first because I think he understands that chasing, there is an advantage here. And I don't know, but Pakistan is sort of a confused side right now. They used to think that we're a bowling heavy side, so we're going to bat first, score runs, and our bowling is our strength. It's going to defend the runs now. And I feel like in the past few matches, that has changed. So they win the toss, they bowl first. It's the same team. A lot of discussions on should Hasan Nawaz come back, should Talat be replaced. You know, Hasan Nawaz is the match winner. He has the highest strike rate for anybody in this team. And if Pakistan wants to play high-intent cricket, high-risk cricket, then Hasan Nawaz has to be that guy in the middle order who can take the game on. And because if he works, if he turns out, if his investment pays off, he will win you the match on the day.
Hasan Nawaz has had a lot of labels already. Generational talent, match winner, middle order spine, some that we've also been a part of that. And him being dropped in 2 consecutive matches for a Hussain Talat. Sorry, I keep getting that mixed up. Shamil is watching the podcast. Man, your dad lives rent-free in my head. But Hussain Talat, it's a shocker. In Urdu they say "Soine pe suhaga," is that this man not only replaces Hasan Nawaz, but performs in both bat and ball and wins player of the match. That is insane to me. Because at this point, have we just shut the doors off on Hasan Nawaz? Is like just because the going has gotten tough and the pitches have gotten turny and his skills are not 100% suitable to that, have we given hope on who he is? Or has another batsman / bowler opened up a door for Hasan Nawaz to enter the team?
Last 6 matches, Hasan Nawaz, 45 runs, 7.5 average, best of 15, strike rate 86.53.
The struggle is there. I'm not denying the struggle. I think there is work to be done and heads to be cleared. All of that. He's a young lad. This is far from over for him. But as it stands in this Asia Cup and the statements that we've heard before to what we're seeing now, there's a lot of gulf between what has been conveyed to the masses and what has actually been executed onto the field.
We talked about this last podcast, and then also Daniel Rasool wrote a very brilliant piece on this on Cricinfo, just talking about what the media has been, understanding from the press conferences of the Pakistan coach, the Pakistan captain, and what's actually been happening in the recent past. It looks like when the pressure is on, they haven't been able to block out the media noise, as Mike Hesson mentioned in his YouTube channel before he became coach. And the issue is that you're benching a power hitter, a guy who can hit sixes at will on his day, with another anchor sort of player.
There's 2 anchors in the team. We had a problem when they were playing 1 and 2, but now we don't have a problem when they're playing 4 and 6.
Yeah, so the anchors have just shifted from the openers to the mid-loaders.
Yes.
And a perfect example of this was what happened against India. First 10 overs, 91 runs. Last 10 overs, we scored what, 80?
80.
So that's basically
the reverse of everything that we've seen.
Yeah. So what Babar Rizwan used to do was first 10 overs, 70 runs, last 10 overs, 90 runs, we would get to 160. So now it's the opposite happening.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Talat
Hussain Talat, man.
It's going to happen a lot in this podcast.
Think about it alphabetically. HT. H comes first, T after. It's Hussain Talat. You say it one more time, I swear to God.
What are you looking at? You're gonna assault me in the middle of my own podcast? It happens. It's the same name reversed. It will happen to me a lot of times. Hussain Talat Hussain. Anyways, HT. He did a good job. After crushing your fingers, your broken hand, he came out and he actually had to crush the opposition, and he did that very well. Now I feel bad for HT because I feel like he's kind of this awkward. He's in this awkward position where, and both not literally like in the team dynamics, but also in the squad, because Pakistan doesn't really need him if Agha performs, but Agha isn't performing, which is his own situation. Let's start with the bowling first, because I would like to dive deep into that. There's a lot of positives to take from there, and then we can end on some of the criticisms in the second half.
We finally saw Shaheen get something up front, and something that was missing in the past few matches, and I was very concerned about this. Shaheen not getting any in-swing, any out-swing. There were just some deliveries that were just decking across, maybe coming back a bit. And compared to bowlers like Bumrah or Hardik Pandya or Junaid Siddiqui or even Rohit Khan from the UAE, Shaheen's swing was not there. But today, different venue, it's an open ground, there's a bit of breeze going across, and Shaheen did get some swing, and he got a wicket second ball of the informed batsman Kusal Mendes. Now, I think Sri Lanka's openers were the key batters to get out, and Shaheen was very successful in getting both of them out in span of his 2 overs.
What is one of the openers' name who got ducked today? Kusal Mendes?
Yes.
3rd straight duck against Pakistan, eh? 3rd straight duck against Pakistan, including the 2022 games and then today. Tough luck for Kusal Mendes. I guess it was kind of a nothing shot. I like that Shaheen was getting his swing, and I like that Shaheen was sort of hitting his marks, but his line was still off. Another batsman who might have not had the worst luck like Mendes did would have probably placed it in a different gap in a different area. There was only one leg side fielder, and Mendes found him in a dark room as a blind man, which is insane.
The positive is the swing was back, and then the area for improvement is that it could still be better aligned. His target is a bit off.
The better wicket was the Patum Nissanka wicket, which I thought Shaheen actually used his head. He saw what was happening in the wicket. He knew that this guy loves to hit on the onside. He baited him with the in-swinger first, and then he just, the ball held its line, moved away, and Nissanka had no idea what to do except hit that for Harris's gloves.
Your Fahim agenda continues to evolve.
I keep saying this. I don't know. I didn't know that was such a hot take. The Fahim agenda that I have is like, it's in front of my eyes.
Fahim opened the bowling today.
Fahim, he should have done that. He should have done that a long time ago. And I'm like, it's what what's the shocker to me out of all of this discourse? Me and Shoaib Akhtar aligned.
God damn.
Me and Shadid Akhti from TapMad aligned on this Fahim agenda. Fahim should have gone on the new ball. Yes,
okay,
he doesn't have that
but
pace,
the issue still is that Fahim is not swinging the ball. It's just a scramble seam.
Moving away, it's coming back. That's enough for me in the first 2 overs. If it pitched like that with the shine and the sheen that this glossy.
But you get my point, right? Like, why hasn't he learned how to ball the new ball?
Yeah, that's a whole different.
7-8 years in your career.
That's a whole different scenario. But Hardik Pandya doesn't ball at 145 either.
Yeah, but he swings the ball. If you can swing the ball at 135 click, that's still enough.
He does do that, but again, Hardik Pandya is one of the best all-rounders in India, in the world right now. I don't know what he's on the rankings, but for me, he's the top 5 right now. It's Stoke, it's him. When it comes to
Saim Ayub.
When it comes to fast bowling all-rounders, he's up there. So if Fahim can give me 2/3 of what Pandya can give me in the first 2 overs and the first 4 overs of the power play, I'll take it, man. Why not? This is the first time in this Asia Cup that Pakistan bowled 6 fast bowlers in the power play. And I think they yielded results. So more of Fahim Ashraf. Agha and Co. and Hasan and Co. need to rely on Fahim Ashraf, at least in the power play. You are wasting him if you're only playing him as a batter, right? That's the whole discourse right now. You have batting up till 8. Fahim comes in at 8. But is he a full bowler? Is he a full batsman? We don't know. When he plays an 8-ball cameo for 15 or 20, we love that. But now he's also giving you 2 to 3 overs. I don't know if you should have bowled him out all 4. Maybe that's a whole other argument, Mishra, that you and I could have in terms of captaincy and how to actually navigate what Fahim can provide. But giving him the first 2, like with Shaheen, I think that's a no-brainer.
Also getting Shaheen to ball 3rd over was, I think, good because you already had 2 wickets down for Sri Lanka.
Shaheen gave 3 runs in the 3rd over.
The issue also remains that Haris Rauf cannot bowl in the power play. He gave 14 runs in his first power play over, and he spent the rest of his spell trying to sort of just contain his figures.
Haris Rauf had 14 in his first, and then about 23 in the last 3. So he kind of held it back in the last 3, but the first one was just horrendous.
So despite losing 3 wickets, Sri Lanka still got to 53 in the power play, which I thought was a very respectable total.
They never stopped. So they never halted at any point. They did waver, but their mission was straight. They wanted to score 170 plus. And I feel like if they had just put a little brakes on that assault that they had, they might have actually ended up 150 plus. But because they were adamant on smashing everything that came in front of them, I think that was the downfall.
I also thought Agha's captaincy was better today. We've seen how Abrar is not the most effective in the power play. So he brought Abrar on post power play. And Abrar spelled 4 overs, 1 wicket, 8 runs. Phenomenal, unplayable.
Agha's captaincy was great, but Sri Lanka were 6 for 80 or 80 for 6, and Pakistan still made them score 133.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
That's where I think this is the same thing we've seen. This is like, since I've been watching cricket live, I've been noticing this. 2019, Saifi did this, Babar has been doing this in his entire career, and now Agha is again falling into the same trappings.
You said 80 for 6. I would even go 58 for 5.
Yeah.
And that's when you should have had some sort of a killer instinct and just try to go for the kill there, because the first innings winning total here was 183. And you don't want to give any chance to Sri Lanka to get to 150 or 160, because knowing Pakistan's batting, and especially half of our entire batting order is out of form. We cannot bat in the middle overs. Post power play, we absolutely suck. So even 133 on this pitch, it became at one point a struggle for us.
Yeah, but that's because of our middle orders and top order woes. And we can talk about that.
I mean, also just one more thing on Agha's captaincy. Saim Ayub is our highest wicket taker. Mohammad Nawaz is the best spinner in the world, according to our coach. And Saim Ayub does not bowl a single over. Mohammad Nawaz does not bowl a single over. What does this tell you? Does it tell you that anytime there's a left-right combination on the pitch that Nawaz cannot bowl, like if he is the best bowler or best spinner in the world, why can't he tackle a left-right combination? Like we're wasting 4 over. That's 2 games back-to-back where Nawaz has not bowled. I thought actually today, when there was 2 lefties, that Saim could have bowled his off-spin. But I think right now, the pressure is on Agha, and Agha wants to make a statement and cement his place in the team first, even though he is the captain. So he came into ball ahead of Saim Ayub.
I just think that Pakistan beat Sri Lanka with their Pakistan B bowling. That's all I'm going to say. Pakistan did not use their prime bowlers as if I feel like the damage that Hussain Talat had done was enough for him to be like, okay, I don't think I need my spinners in here. When the pitch is turning and raving and turning a square, turning a mile, then yes, both my match winner and Abhishek Light will come in handy. But as it stands right now, he played four. He bowled 6 bowlers, right? Yeah, 6 bowlers, including himself, but 4 pacers in there and 1 Abrar. And Abrar is sort of like a league of his own. So he saw that the pitch was moving and seaming a lot, and if you hit the right areas, even scramble seemed like Fahim was doing was moving off the deck. And Hussain Talat with 125 average was getting 2 wickets back to back. So why not just bet on those horses as opposed to try something that's tried and tested? I think, you know what, we've been critical of Agha's captaincy as we have been of other captains before him, but when a captain like him is thinking on his feet and not going on quote unquote rote mannerisms or rote routine as or the planning that was done before the game, and he's actually thinking on his feet, being street smart and looking at what's going on and who's working, I think we should commend him on that. Yes, you can have problems with Nawaz not bowling or Saim not bowling is the highest wicket taker, but that doesn't really tell you much. He's the highest wicket taker against one India team, 3 for 35. The rest 2 wickets that he took were against Oman and UAE. Correct? I get when he was bowled.
You're saying India is in the same league as Oman and UAE?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Stop putting words in my mouth. But the second India game that he bowled, he got whipped. So at this point, if he needs to bowl 4 off of Hussain Talat, do it.
Well, at this point, Saim is in the team partly because of his bowling.
Let's talk about it. The lack of Saim, or you want to talk about it in the second innings?
Talk about second innings. Yeah, so you mentioned not having the killer instinct. This match kind of almost gave me flashbacks to the Asia Cup final in 2022. Sri Lanka in that match was again around 50 for 5, and then they scored 171, and Pakistan lost that match by about 25-30 runs. So thanks to a cameo by Haris Shroff towards the end, but Pakistan was just in no position to chase that, even though there was the first ball of that match was a wide plus a boundary. And yeah, just, I don't know. That
Where is Rajapaksa?
Yo, I don't know, bro.
This guy hit 71 off 45 when Sri Lanka were 58 for 5.
Yeah, same source.
Yeah, and so like, where is this guy?
I think he's just playing leagues. He was playing for Zalmi. He was picked for Kings XI Punjab in the IPL. He isn't the fittest guy out there. I don't think he's really interested in playing cricket professionally. I've heard he's from a rich background. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just looking at the scorecard of that 2022 final. I haven't seen the scorecard in a while. And dang, bro. Flashbacks of
that Rizwan Iftikhar partnership, bro. Killed the game.
I want to cry already thinking about that. Yeah, you're right. Haris Shroff came down and scored 13 off 9 or 1 6 and 1 4. Otherwise, it was curtains a long time ago. Nobody really clicked in that game. Fakhar Zaman was there. You bowled on the first delivery. Tough one. But I feel like we did a better job now than we did then. I feel like even with the bowling that we had, Naseem Shah, Mohammad Hasnain, and Haris Shroff in that game, they all went for 10 over. And this time we actually did a really good job keeping that resistance on and booking them under 133, even though I think they should have been under 100 all out. You know the perfect game that Agha is seeking? Today was the best opportunity for that. Today and actually the one against India. Where Pakistan were 91 for 1 in 10, you should go out there and score 200 or 180 at least. And even today, they had them at 58 for 5, and they should have booked them under 100.
Yeah. In Dubai, also in Abu Dhabi, we've seen that those medium pace bowlers, like around 130 kilometers, who are just banging in on a length, are getting some movement. It's hard to play them. We saw that with Shivam Dubey against Pakistan, then Fahim versus India, and then now today, Talat against Sri Lanka. So I think his double over strike was very important. And then him bowling 3 overs. He's never bowled 3 overs in a match with Pakistan before. So this is the first time he's been used for these many overs consecutively.
3 overs, 18 for 2, man. What else do you want? Only got hit for 2 boundaries. That tells me a lot. 10 dot balls in that spell. That tells me that this pitch, whatever he was doing on it, if it was cutters or was, just making the ball stick a little bit longer, it was enough for him to get the yield out of that. Whatever potential that wicket had to support him, he got the most of it. And that's again, good captaincy there.
Only 5 overs of spin in the entire match. Pakistan going from a spin heavy side now to a pace heavy side.
But here's the thing, 5 overs of spin with only 13 runs.
Pretty good.
So maybe, I do see the argument of maybe introducing a Saim in there somewhere to get some extra spin, maybe a couple more overs there. But whose overs would you have taken out? Maybe Fahim's. I think Fahim is a good 2 to 3 over bowler in T20s. I wouldn't bowl him his entire 4 quota. Same thing with Hussain Talat here. Hussain Talat bowled 3 overs, which is, I think, enough.
2 overs max.
2 overs max, third if you actually need it, because he did have an exceptional first over. So yeah, you definitely take that into account. But there should have been an option. Maybe Agha should have just come back for another one, give himself 2 overs. Maybe he would have taken a wicket as well. Would have helped his whole cement ideology come into being. But I think all in all, at the end of the day, 133, I would have bet a lot of money for Pakistan to chase this, and I mean they did.
Speaking of money, speaking of saving money, Yashi Sports, they remain Canada's home of cricket, and they've given us a special code BP15 for 15% off your purchase. You can save money through using that code. You can browse through their equipment. They've got bats, pads, gloves, helmets, kit bags, shoes. I am due for a pair of shoes.
Yeah, you are definitely.
We have a game on Friday. It's a very crucial semi-final
game. Yeah.
So Thursday, Pakistan match. Friday, our match. Very crucial. So I'm gonna need new shoes for that. I've ordered them from RashiSport.com. I've used my own code PP15.
Yeah.
And if my order was $50 and up, I could have gotten free shipping as well.
Yeah.
And we're also just doing a free English Willow Cricket Bat giveaway with Yashi Sports for this Asia Cup.
Yeah, so the best way to enter, or the only way to enter this giveaway worth $300, open worldwide, anywhere in the world, is just got to join our Patreon. If you're already a patron, then there's nothing you have to do. If you want to get more chances, you can ask other people in your family or people around you to join the Patreon. It is for a good cause. You're supporting the podcast, the only North American cricket podcast at this level. And, this operation takes a lot of cha-ching to keep running. So Yashi were kind enough to support the podcast again in this way, with giving you guys a really good chance of getting this English Willow Yashi Sports player grade bat. It's worth $300 Canadian, which is 250 USD, and you guys can get hands on that. You sign up for the Patreon, we put your names in a bucket, we take a name out during the podcast on the final. Now, the final is going to be really interesting because we could either do it on the live stream or in the final. We haven't decided yet, but it'll most likely be in the post-match podcast. In that scenario, you have an opportunity to win that. Also, you have an opportunity to watch Pakistan versus India live with us on the YouTube streams. So there's a lot of positives going on. Check out the Patreon in the description below. It's $4.99 if you're in the US, $5.99 if you're in Canada. And why not give it a spin?
Pakistan chasing 134, which should have been a straightforward chase. But knowing Pakistan, they just try to make things more interesting. Second over the match, Fakhar Zaman gets hit in the helmet by Chamita, who is bowling absolute rockets this Asia Cup.
Straight in the forehead, man.
I think he has the highest percentage of balls over 140 clicks this Asia Cup.
Crazy.
And after that ball hit Fakhar's head, it seemed like he was rattled.
I mean, I saw the slow motion and that, my fear of throwing the short ball just reemerged in that moment because I'm like, dang, he went for the full shot, and it just bounced an inch higher where it should have hit the middle of the bat. And so that means that the ball was just seaming and booming and zooming and all over. Hit him straight square in the forehead. Cliffy Deacon was right in there. He actually came back after that over to check up on him again. Just shout outs to Shrey, Masuri, all the helmet makers out there. They're doing a really good job because they're keeping our players live. That thing is a rocket when it comes at you. After that, I felt like Fakhar was dazzled, even though he did hit a couple boundaries after that. But just the zip was just kind of gone. I don't know if this is Fakhar getting older or if that was just a genuinely good bouncer, but it did strike some concerns for me.
Third over by Tushara was smashed for 18 runs, which included 2 sixes by Farhan. And it looked like he was very comfortable hitting those sixes straight down the ground again.
The V, man. The V. I keep talking about the V. You got to hit in the V. You'll get
We've seen results. Farhan have tendencies to just drag the balls outside of off stump to the leg side. And this was basically what we had against Rizwan. Like, why are you dragging every ball from the offside to the leg side? Why can't you expand your range of shots to play over covers or over long off?
But Rizwan is not a good V player, is he? He doesn't hit in the V. He always hits square leg.
Yeah, square leg, mid wicket, yeah.
The hoik. And so at least it was nice to see an aggressive attempt at hitting it straight down the ground. And even though he does the thing where he clears the front leg and just heaves it down, which is something that I also do, which I got to work on. So it's not as quote unquote aesthetic as maybe a Babur lofted shot. Which we can talk about a really sexy lofted shot that Haris played later on in the innings. But I think that what Sajjada Farhan's role was, he came out, he struck at 166 strike rate. I think it was perfect. It was a good start.
The execution plus the intent today was a lot better. And I think Pakistan has realized that to play good in these conditions in the UAE, you have to go hard in the power play, score about 9-10 runs per over. The middle overs, there is a bit of a slowdown, and then you can go hard towards the death if you have wickets in hand. So Pakistan, thanks to Farhan's blitz in the power play, even though he just scored 24 runs, it was the rate that he scored the runs off of which gave Pakistan a head start. And even in the try series in the UAE, he wasn't scoring 40s or 50s. He was scoring those 10 ball 25s, 15 ball 24s, whatever. But he was getting us to a good start, and that was what we need from him, rather than a 44 ball 54, which he scored against India at a strike rate of 128.
Yeah, he was, again, at that juncture, when he scored a 50, he was strike rate of 148, and it came down to 128, 20 points, because he scored 7 off the last 11 deliveries that he played, which is absolutely criminal. Let's do this. Let's talk about Saim Ayub.
Yeah, so Farhan gets out, and then Fakhr gets out in a span of 2 deliveries. So Pakistan go from being 45 for 0 to 57 for 4 in the span of 12 deliveries. So that is a collapse for the ages. It is a collapse signed by the Pakistan team. That's how they do it. And part of the collapse, obviously, Farhan's wicket, really good catch by Hasaranga to get Fakhr out. And then Saim Ayub, he comes in 1 down, sort of at the end of the power play, and just totally misses a wrong one by Hasaranga. If you've watched enough of Hasaranga's bowling, you know all he does is he bowls wicket to wicket. More than half the dismissals are bowled or LBW. So he will continuously just question the stumps, whether it be the LBW or the bowled, and Saim just really missing a wrong one and knocks his off snub over.
Do you want to
what to do?
Do you want to talk about the Saim Ayub agenda? Is it falling? Is it failing? Has it failed? Have we lost another talent to the darkness of Pakistan cricket?
Look, I don't know if the talent is there. The skill is there. I just think right now he's out of form.
The intent was also there, because the first ball he played, he came down for a single on mid-on. So he definitely was looking to get runs and score runs. And I'm not going to say that was an unplayable delivery. He just played the wrong line and the wrong anticipation of the turn. But as a professional cricketer at that level, who basically plays this for a living, gets paid a lot of money, you should be able to pick that up.
Saim lost 8 matches, 51 runs, 6.37 average, 94 strike rate, highest score of 21.
This Asia Cup reminds me of the 2023 Asia Cup, which right before that, we had Naseem Shah, Shaheen Shafidi, Haris Rauf as our trio, the Trident, as we called it in fast bowling. We had Babar Azam, Rizwan, and Imam ul Haq in the top 10 of the...
And Fakhr Zaman.
And Fakhr Zaman, I believe, in the top 10.
No, so it was Imam, Fakhr, and Babar
in the top 10.
In the top 5.
In the top 5. And Rizwan was there somewhere in the top 10 or top 15. And Shadab was, I think, one of the top 10 all-rounders. Like, it was just like everything was so gelled and just clicking so well right before that Asia Cup, that when that Asia Cup came and everything unraveled, Naseem gets an injury, Shadab just loses form, Babar loses form, even though he scored 150 against Nepal, he just loses form after that. Collapse of like just an immense proportion happened after that, to the the effects that we still feel today. Reverberations of that earthquake are still felt to this day in this game. It just feels like this Asia Cup is something similar. We were kind of finding our groove. I don't think our team was as stable as it was right before that Asia Cup, but it was getting to some sort of stability. A lot of our main players were performing. There was a conversation in that West Indies series of, should Mohammad Nawaz get the player of the series or should Saim Ayub get the player of the series, right? Obviously, they went with Nawaz. He had a bit more of an impact, but there was conversations happening there. We were in Florida talking to the team, talking to everybody, talking to the guys, and they were in high spirits. Even this game that they lost against West Indies was just last ball thriller, and they weren't able to defend 8 or 10, whatever it was in last over. And so those games were close. Things are just like Hasan Nawaz out of form. The numbers you gave me for him were insane. Saim Ayub now, it does not make sense.
I haven't even give you Agha's numbers.
Agha's numbers, I don't even listen to them, but I can tell that they're earth-shattering.
No, I think you know what it is. In my assessment, I think it's a matter of playing better oppositions and then playing them in higher pressure, high stake tournaments like the Asia Cup. So you said that Saim and Nawaz were in competition for getting the Player of the Series award against West Indies in the USA.
USA was a tough pitch.
Tough pitch, but again, West Indies is not the best opposition. You could say that, oh yeah, they're the most mercurial side in T20s. They won their last 3 of 17 matches. Last 3 of 20 matches, they lost 17.
Yeah.
So they're not a good T20 team.
Yeah.
It's only when Pakistan came to the UAE for the tri-series where they were challenged by Afghanistan and they were a close match against the UAE. And now you're facing Sri Lanka, you're facing India. These are better oppositions. They've done their homework. They've found out your weaknesses.
They definitely are better oppositions, but the way that Saim threw his wicket, the way that Agha looked completely clueless against, again, Hasaranga, I believe it was again. It just showed, like, Agha is your best spin player. Allegedly, right? I mean, in our Islamabad United podcast, he did come out and say, like, stop calling me that. Like,
he said that we jinxed it.
Yeah, he
said that now he thinks that his game against pace is better.
His game against pace has gotten better, which I mean, like, his lofty cover shot will prove that. But I mean, Haris scored a century against Bangladesh in the third T20I and finished that game in Lahore.
That's a good point you mentioned, actually. Pakistan,
where are these guys now?
Pakistan in that series, so versus Bangladesh in Lahore, all 3 matches, they were scoring at a rate of 10 per over.
Yes.
It's only because that pitch in Lahore, it gave you the opportunity to go out there, play with high intent. The same mindset that was promised to us by Mike Hasan and Salman Agha. But the next few series, Bangladesh, whether it be West Indies in USA or Sharjah pitch, now the UAE, these conditions are not allowing them to play their high-risk cricket. These are pitches that are low, they're slow, they're sticky wickets. And most of our guys have been coming in through the PSL, through Champions Cups in Faisalabad and Pindi, in Lahore, Karachi, where pitches are flat, they're straight, there's no spin, there's barely any movement, and they're used to just scoring runs at a high rate. Mohammad Haris doesn't even need footwork in Pakistan to score runs.
But as a professional cricketer, do you not have the ability to adapt? As Hasan
you
and
should.
Co,
you should.
Shouldn't you have the ability to know that this is not, none of these pitches are 210 pitches. They're not going to do that. They're going to do 170, 160, 180 if you're playing really well. Like the game against India that we keep going back to last Sunday should have been the game where they actually did score 180, 190. Show me that intent. Show me that progressive cricket that you're playing. But it just feels like all the boys that we have put our money on have just, again, laid flat. Agha is an exception because I don't think anybody was super confident in Agha, the player, in T20Is, as opposed to Agha, the captain, which is a whole other debate. And should he take the mantle over in Test cricket and ODI cricket is another conversation for another podcast. We're not questioning Agha, the captain. We're questioning Agha, the player, at number 4, 5, 6 ball 5. Right? You're the spin basher. You're the spin player. Just knock it about. Knock it about. You're just missing a straighter one. Same thing with Saim Ayub. Saim Ayub, he's the second coming of what is it, Saeed Anwar. He's like this, that, and the other. Him and Abhishek Sharma started cricket at the same time. He's going to be our Abhishek Sharma. He's got the potential. You know, we saw glimpses against South Africa and Australia in those pitches. He's played a T20 World Cup already, so he's played a big ICC event. He just comes in here and looks like half the person that he was, even in West Indies, against West Indies in Florida. So I'm not withdrawing the Saim Ayub agenda. I'm not withdrawing the Karachi agenda. This podcast is super duper Karachi. We rep them till the day that they retire. That's just who we are. But as someone who is the president of that agenda, I'm going to raise concerns. I'm confused as to what is happening with Saim Ayub. Is there a mental block? He wants to play aggressive cricket, but it feels like his body is not following where his mind wants to go, which means there's a delta between what he wants to do and what is actually happening. Does that mean that he's out of form, or he's executing it wrong, or just a lapse in judgment? But how many lapses in judgment are you talking about? Because this has been the 6th straight match, as you called it, average of 6.5, strike rate of like 90. I mean, he's been demoted.
The question is, what do you even do with him right now? Because his best spot, if you watch Simon, he was like, okay, he should open. But if he plays first position, he averages about 12. If he is on a non-striker end, he averages 25. If he faces any balls in the first over, he averages 7. If you demote him, he's then now going towards the end of the power play in the middle overs where the field is spread and he can't play shots anymore. So I don't know. Right now, it's just you're kind of stuck with him. Also, he gives you a bowling option. I don't know. When you go back to Bangladesh and you face them in Dubai against Bangladesh, does he take the new ball again? If hypothetically if you drop him, how do you change the batting order? Do you bring in another specialist pacer?
Hasan Nawaz.
Do you bring in a batsman?
Hasan
Do
Nawaz.
you put Haris at number 3?
Again, Hasan Nawaz has been knocking.
So here's the thing also, right? So just want to go back to this. again, to the messaging to the team and the media, Agha said, we have 3 match winners in the team, and under my captaincy, if these 3 guys don't end up as match winners, I have failed as captain. Saim Ayub, Mohammad Haris, and Hasan Nawaz. Saim Ayub dropped from an opener to number 3. Mohammad Haris has been tried from number 1 to number 8. Right now, he's been demoted from number 3 to number 6, 7. Hasan Nawaz is dropped from the playing 11. So if you drop Saim Ayub next, what message does that give to the rest of the guys?
Agha put these players on a pedestal, but these players have the responsibility to stay on that level. You know, Hasan came out and said Nawaz is the best spinner in the world, right? Nawaz
and Mike coach, has to say that.
He has to say that, and I respect that he said that, and he should keep saying that because he needs to back up his players in the international media because he's the coach, he's the guy who's heading this entire operation. If he doesn't say it, then who will? So I'm totally in agreement with that. That if that's the messaging that you want to put out into the outside world, that's totally fine. It takes me back to just a slight aside, but it takes me back to when Imran Khan came before the final and told Wasim Akram, or told the media that I want Wasim Akram to go for as many runs or as many no balls as he can, but I want him to take wickets. And Wasim saw that in the papers, and he think against the semifinal or the final, he came out, he bowls fearlessly, and I think he was the player of the match in that game. So these are tactics that play with players' heads. It's not a messaging for the press as much as it is messaging for the player.
Yeah, so Nawaz can think that, oh, my coach can go in the media and say this on record. That's a big thing.
Yeah, because
it's to boost his confidence.
The coach is putting his reputation online. Imran Khan is putting his reputation online for Wasim, and same thing here. And same thing, Agha is putting his reputation online for these 3 lads. Now, these 3 lads have to step up to that reputation. They're not doing that. How is this Agha's fault? Agha wants them to become that. Now, it's too early to talk about curtains and all that because Agha's legacy is still to be written, and there's still 2 more games at least in this tournament. 1 more against Bangladesh, and if that goes Pakistan's way, then at least the final of all finals on Sunday. And then I don't think if obviously Pakistan make it to the final, then that's a really good face saving for this management. There's a lot of lessons to be learned and moving forward into the next series there's a Thai series and there's a South Africa series. There's definitely going to be more learnings when it comes to that. But again, I'm just baffled at the three guys that were put on that pedestal, how far they've fallen. I already can see the haters and the naysayers and the fans across the border saying, "Oh, you guys always bet on the wrong guy. Babers was also a bust.
You guys overhype players.
This is a bust. That's a bust. Everyone's a bust." But I'm here saying that that's not the case. Babar is still world class. Rizwan is still world class. Naseem is still world class, and so are these guys. And so it's a matter of how the management wants to deal with these guys. Do you want to up their ante? Do you want to keep their confidence and stability high? Because if you have highlighted 25 players, these are my guys for the next T20 World Cup, there's no time in shifting right now. You can add someone in, and I'm looking at number 56 here for more stability because that is a conversation to be had maybe post-Asia Cup. But if that's the conversation to be had, then we can have that later. As it stands right now, these are your guys. And there's already been talks, by the way, about releasing Agha as captain. He's not worth it. He doesn't make a spot in the team. Really, we're going to do this all over again? One bad tournament, and we're going to axe the guy who we betted on for the past 6 months? Come on. Amar Lal was saying this in the Patreon chat, and I totally agree with him because there was a little bit of a debate going on, which I was just monitoring, and I totally agree with Amar. The Patreon fam know exactly what I'm talking about. But Amar was basically saying the same thing that I'm saying. 6 months, one bad tournament, we were in between a rebuilding process, and we want to axe the guy. That's how impatient we are. And I rate a lot of our Patreon members really highly, and I feel the frustration as well because Agha coming out. This is what. Give me Agha's numbers, Bashar. You have them.
Salman Agha, last 8 matches, 96 runs, 13.7 average, highest score 24, strike rate 90.5.
Horrible, abysmal numbers, especially in T20Is, right? I can see that. At the same time, I can see some sort of potential when it comes to captaincy and maybe a little bit more stability and clarity in the 1 to 8 number. There's a lot of moving going around, a lot of shifting going around. I'm sure there's a method to the madness. I'm still trying to decipher that. And I do have hope in this management and the way that they play cricket, that there's definitely is some sort of method to madness because they stuck out with HT, Hussain Talat. And they were getting a lot of flack from him playing the last game because he did sort of bog down that rate that was going at around 9 and 9.5 to almost 7.5, right? There was definitely a conversation to be had between the 10 to 15 mark over there. But it's not just HT, it's other people also contributing to that downfall. Today was the perfect game for him to be introduced and perfect game for him to be played. Now, this is the management that is saying we will take big moves and we will take big risks and we will pay them off. Right? Saim has gotten an extended run in this tournament, even though with his bat he's been nothing. Apart from that 20 odd against India, nothing.
Just my last word on Saim. I think at this point you have to stick with him.
Stick with him. Play him
out the tournament. Look back on Saim Ayub post Asia Cup and see what you want to do with him. But right now, given that he might come back in form, that he's giving you a few overs with the ball, you gotta stick with him. Dropping him right now just changes your entire formation. So I agree with you. I think if we're on the same page, just stick with Saim.
Stick with Saim.
And I think our stance on Salman Ali Agha is that we want to wait till the next T20 World Cup till we have a definitive stance on what to do with this entire management team. But that doesn't mean we'll just have a blind eye to his performances. Totally. Is Salman Agha the weakest thing in this team right now? Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But is there also a leadership void in the Pakistan team? Yes.
Yeah, totally. Like, if Saim was performing consistently and Agha was performing this way, there would have been a conversation to, hey, give the young in the hat. Right? Let Agha do what he does best, which is test in ODIs. And I still think he's the spine of Pakistan cricket when it comes to batting in those formats. The way that Agha has busted Pakistan out of many a situation in ODIs and tests.
He's clutch.
He's clutch. It's commendable. T20Is, maybe in the PSL level, he's still clutch because he had 140 strike rate and over like 25 average in the PSL this past season, especially the season that they won. So they definitely, United did something for him that worked in his favor.
He was batting in the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, totally. And so that helps him, right? At the same time, give him the 26 World Cup. In the meantime, always rectify him. Always set him up for positions of success. Do that. And sometimes that's at the behest or at the running against what the captain actually wants and doing what is actually right. Because sometimes captains can have narrow visions and just look at the end goal and not how we're going to get there. So assist him during that. But sacking him right after an Asia Cup, especially if he plays the final, is insane.
What's concerning is that Pakistan is not able to pick Kuldeep Yadav. They're not able to pick Varun Chakravarti.
Kuldeep went for 35 in the last game.
Or 28. 31, I think.
31. Got hit for 2 sixes. So
yeah, just
I would push back on
3
that.
6s.
Push back on that, yeah.
Okay. So so you can't pick Varun Chakravarti for was 25. And today you can't pick Theekshana and Hasaranga. The good thing is that Bangladesh don't have a mystery spinner. They do have Rashad Hussain, who didn't play the last match.
Yeah.
But they do have a lot of left-arm spinners. In Pakistan, I think, averaging 16 against left-arm spinners. The lowest by any team in the last 1 year.
But we have a lot of lefties, though, so that doesn't make sense to me. We have Fakhr, we have Saim, we have Fahim, we have Nawaz, and we have Hussain Talat. That's 5 lefties in the 8. We actually have more lefties than righties. Because who are the righties now? We have Haris, Farhan, and Agha.
Haris Rauf.
Haris Rauf?
Is he a righty?
Yeah, but he's
in the playing 11.
Is he a batsman, though? In the top 8?
He's going to bat eventually.
Okay, well, in the top 8, he's not there.
Top 8.
But,
okay.
I was like stressed out for a second.
And this is part of Pakistan's struggles in the middle overs.
So what I'm trying to say is maybe they will be able to neutralize that, even though the numbers suggest not, but there's hope.
Pakistan in this Asia Cup in the middle overs, so over 7 to 15, they've lost 16 wickets and their run rate is 6.03. This is the most amount of wickets they've lost in any phase. And it's the lowest run rate they have in any phase of the match, clearly showing that we are just collapsing post power play. We don't know how to build an innings. We are struggling to rotate strike. I will agree that our dot ball percentage is low now. I think today it was 42%.
Yeah.
You want it to be around about 35 to 40. So it's still a bit on the higher end. And we're still seeing guys hit boundaries with played dot balls. So
that's Farhan. He did that again. 6 first ball, next 2 ball dot.
Yeah.
He's just not able to get the single off. And yeah, I mean, Hussain Talat hit 2 fours and then took a single, which I thought, again, that's what's suited for him is best. Is Hussain Talat playing out of format again, like Agha?
Is he playing what?
Out of format?
No, I think actually people are wondering, how did this guy get in the team? But in the last Champions Cup T20, Hussain Talat was the highest run scorer, 1 century, 250s, strike rate of 151, plus he had wickets. Plus his team won the tournament.
I needed him to finish this game with over 120 strike rate.
Well, looking at him bat, plus seeing him in the post-match, he was just drained. He bowled 3 overs. It's very hot, very humid there. And towards the end of it, he was just like, he had cramps.
Sorry. my slide aside, I was watching the Tap Mat show with what is it, Game On It? And Zainab asks a question about, Bangladesh playing back to back. It's really hot, humid. We saw Hussain Talat struggling and sweating and all that. And you think that's like fair for Bangladesh, or what are they gonna do? How difficult is it gonna be? It's not only back to back; it's back to back against India and Pakistan. So that's extremely tough. Some of the best teams in the world. And Shoaib Akhtar answers that question by giving he goes on a completely different tangent about, bro, Brisbane में हम खेल रहे थे 2000 मलिक तू बता 2000 में 22 ओवर मैंने कराए 40 ओवर पूरे दिन में कराए मैंने. Nobody asked. सामने पॉइंट खड़ा हुए कटे मार. Zainab is like, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about this match in these conditions in this Asia Cup, and you're talking about Brisbane.
मैंने तो पिच पे रखा फाड़ दिया. And I'm like, what has happened? She's talking about it was insane.
Bro, Shoaib Akhtar is a serial narcissist.
Bro, he's gonna be on the pod soon.
If you ask Shoaib Akhtar about the weather, he will somehow turn it around and bring it back to his knees, his back, how he didn't have Imran Khan, how he had
Imran Khan को तुम शाहिद महमूद दो, Shoaib Akhtar दो, और बोरी दे दो. सबको बंद करके मारेंगे. सबको बंद करके मारेंगे. अब फेटा लगाते हैं तो बोरी बंद करते दिखाते दुनिया को. So it's like I just remember that it is extremely hot, and but what he was trying to say was like Pakistan has played test matches in these conditions that are 5 days straight, right? So these guys are professionals, and they're definitely will be up to it.
57 for 4, and in walks Mohammad Haris alongside Hussain Talat, and they have a partnership 23 runs off 18 balls. And I was just not happy with Haris' dismissal. It's the first ball you're facing against Jamira. It's a length ball, and you just go for like a wild hoik, just no foot movement, ball nips back, hits his stumps. And I just think at this point, like if you had to have a tailored solution where you can go in, score runs, just run a ball, score your runs, go not out, finish the match with Pakistan, improve your average. But again, just a lack of game sense.
Even though Haris looked really good. And
he was rotating really well.
He was rotating really well. He took singles. He only hit 1-4, but still ended up at 13. So the other 8 runs he scored singles and doubles. And that's pretty good because he only faced 11 deliveries. So I was like, okay, that's good. He's rotating strike. He's not really, bogging down one end, which is great. And that lofted shot over covers, great shot, great intent, picked a good gap, went for 4. That's the type of intentful batting that I'm looking for when I'm looking for Mohammad Haris and Saim Ayub. But just as I was like, oh, he might go score a big 25, 35, even 40 out here and maybe finish the game. Because again, you're right. It was run a ball, throws his wicket. I don't know what shot, even if he had connected, where was that ball going to go? Mid on?
No idea.
For 1?
No
or
idea.
Maybe straight down for 4, but that was like, he played it sort of on an angle. So I don't know. Kind of a nothing shot. I think the conversations that I had with Hasan and Harif Malik in Florida, off the record, made me realize that the frustration in the management camp is the game awareness of it all. Like you should know at that point, as Mohammad Haris, as the Pakistani captain, as the emerging captain for Pakistan, winning an Asia Cup against India in situations very similar to these, of how you're going to conduct yourself.
What should happen is that at the international level, you come in the Pakistan team and you should be a finished product. But in the Pakistan team right now, we have work in progresses that we're trying to develop. Ideally, you should be developed for domestic cricket or playing leagues or the PSL, but it's just a case of our guys learning on the job.
A lot of sports do have that. Like you can't, very hard for you to come onto the stage and just become Michael Jordan. Like even Jordan won his first chip in his 6th year or something like that, if I'm not wrong. So years do help. Repetition does help. Playing cricket or the sport that you're playing at the highest level does help. But, how long can a fan base...
This is the same top 8 playing the last 4 or 5 months.
I agree.
Since May.
I totally agree. And Haris has been playing since 2022.
I agree. Haris is not playing at his position. He should be batting at the top 3. But he has sacrificed his position for the team. And he doesn't look comfortable at this position.
Yeah, I guess that is. But he didn't slog out. He just played the wrong line and the ball nipped back and boom, he was out. So I was disappointed in that wicket, but I was really, really happy by Nawaz and Bilaji. The way that he entered the game, had a positive attitude, and the way he finished the game, keeping an eye out on the NRR, his partnership with Hussain Talat. How much was it?
58 of 41 balls.
That was it.
And Talat at that point just took a backseat. He scored 19 off 17, just rotating strike. He hit the odd boundary off of Hasaranga.
They both charged Hasaranga.
But it was Nawaz actually who was the aggressor in this entire partnership, and they were looking to finish the match early when they saw the opportunity. And Nawaz, I'm glad that he scored runs because he was playing this match essentially as a batsman. And I saw a stat where there's been 7 times where Nawaz has finished his batting not out. All 7 times Pakistan has won the match.
Yeah.
Only Babar Azam has more not outs in winning matches for Pakistan. That's 8.
But Babar ka masla ye tha ki wo finish nahi karta.
Well, Nawaz was the match winner. He showed up today. And
a whole other argument. But I totally agree. Nawaz, he gave the aggressive hand to HT's sort of standard / defensive hand, which is HT was like, I'm going to hold up the wickets. You go for it. You see the bad ball. I was really happy that they both charged Hasaranga, who was looking dangerous. The 2 wickets that he got, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know how cricket is played like that. How does the ball, turn in and out from the same angle? It's just insane. This game is weird and stupid, and I love it and I hate it at the same time. But I'm glad that they charged him just to put pressure back on Sri Lanka, because after that, Sri Lanka's back was completely
Sri Lanka also had an issue of their 5th bowler. So they have 4 frontline bowlers, and they're trying to get out some overs from Karunaratne, who's a fast bowling all-rounder, and Asalanka himself. So that didn't really go their way because Pakistan smashed Karunaratne in the first over for 11 runs that he bowled. And yeah, like you mentioned, they did charge Hasaranga when he came back to bowl. I just think right now, Talat, in these conditions, we heard him in the post-match, he said that the Pakistan team has had a chat with this entire squad, and they've said that in these conditions, you ideally, yes, you want to play high-risk cricket with intent, modern cricket, but these conditions are not allowing you to play that way. So they've got another anchor, they've got Agha, they've got Hussain Talat now. They want to look to rotate strike, hit the hot boundary, and knowing that 160, 170, maybe 180 is a par score here, we're going to see our guys go in the same style, hard in the power play, rotate in the middle, hit the hot boundary, and then just go berserk in the last 5 overs.
From 6 to 16, that's 10 overs. What is a good score for Pakistan in 10 overs? 70 for 2?
I think it depends. It depends on the conditions. It depends on...
Let's say Pakistan hits 50 for 1 in the power play, right? So now you're 6 overs, 50 for 1. Where should you be in the 16th?
Somewhere around that 125, 130 mark. So in the last 4 overs, you can at least score 45, 50 runs.
Pakistan has been scoring at 10.75 in the last 4, which means that's great. So you're definitely locked in for 40 to 45 in the last 4, and definitely locked in about 45 to 50 in the first 6, right? Those 10 overs, you got around about 100 runs. And then mid 10 overs, if you get about 70 odd, which means rotate strike, hit the bad ball, make sure the runs are ticking, the dot ball percentage is low, I think Pakistan might have found a formula to win in Dubai if they keep it like that. Today, they scored 60 for 3 in the middle overs. I would like that to be 70, 75 even, if they can. And I don't think they played, apart from the collapse, the rebuild. If they had just given themselves a little bit more chance, if Saim Ayub just stood there for a little bit longer, that number could have gone to 65, 75 even, with that extra added, quality from the top. Does this mean...
Like you mentioned, Pakistan's NRO right now has jumped from negative 0.6 to positive 0.2.
Yeah. Does this mean it's curtains for Hussain Talat? Sorry, curtains for Hasan Nawaz in this tournament?
It looks like it. Given these conditions, given what Talat said in the post-match, I think they're not going to back Hasan Nawaz, at least till the end of the Asia Cup.
Pakistan bowled really well, but what happened to Sri Lanka's batsmen? What were they trying to do? Again, they were trying to score 190.
Better.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they were trying to score... I'll just finish it off. They were trying to score 190 on a pitch that was not suited for that. And I don't understand why they didn't readjust after that 53 for 3 in the power play when they saw that the pitch was moving and zooming around a bit. But I guess, the solid start that they had and the tag of being the second best Asian teams by Indian commentators, I mean, that kind of stuff jinxes you really bad.
Every tweet that Irfan Pathan is making saying that Afghanistan is the second best team, knocked out. Sri Lanka second best team, knocked out. So I hope he doesn't say that Pakistan is the second best team.
I don't think he'll be able to do that.
I'm surprised he's watching the matches. Because he was boycotting.
Boycott what?
I don't know.
There's no boycott anymore.
And then he was commentating.
The boycott is done, bro. The boycott is over.
Just a last word on this entire...
Bashar is in the dark. Sorry, guys, because Bashar's camera has just died. I don't think I put it on charge. I just see it now. But please, Bashar, finish your thought. I will look into the camera while Bashar talks.
Realistically, Sri Lanka is out of the Asia Cup, right? So tomorrow it's India versus Bangladesh, and then it's Pakistan versus Bangladesh. Considering all probabilities, the Thursday match is going to be a virtual semifinal. So I hope Pakistan comes back with better preparations, with better game plans against the Bangladesh players. And I hope to see an India versus Pakistan final. It could go anyway. I am going to dread losing to India the third time in the past 3 weeks, but it is what it is. But you never know.
CT17, just never forget that. As Pakistani cricket fans, that tournament holds a dear place for us. And whatever happened in that tournament has the potential of happening again in the Asia Cup. If that happens, oh boy. Oh boy. Thank you for watching Backward Point Podcast. Please consider subscribing, even if you're not a fan of the podcast. It just helps the algorithm. It helps people who are like-minded, who want to talk about cricket without being toxic or being corrosive in a positive light. It helps us get the word out to more and more people, and just helps everybody in the long run. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you to our Patreons. Thank you for our executive producers. You can check all the links out in the description below. Bashar Sayed signed off, and Nazar Sayed signed off as well.